Adam Petticord has been a friend of mine since, I don't know, about 2017, but he really helped me to be a better leader when I was building a team in a support desk. I believe the whole team went from like 2 members to almost 20 members. So let me see. It says that he is waiting to join. So let me send him another link. Let's see. Copy link. Let's try again. Oh, there we go.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, Adam, how are you? You were lost in the abyss.
Yes, note to self, use only Google Chrome for these things.
Oh, well, there you go. You have solved it. How is the weather in Seattle?
It's gorgeous today, in case you can't see behind me. Yeah, we can't, you can't complain when it's May and it's about 60 outside. That's pretty good for us.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, what would the normal temperature be?
Probably mid 50s and cloudy with drizzle.
Ugh.
That's usually
Yeah.
normal. Yeah.
We had cloudy weather for about 4 days, and I was just like, I need some sunshine.
Well, you're usually in a sunshiny state, right?
Yeah, I'm just north of Dallas. I was gonna say the go live on LinkedIn is just scrolling, so this just may be a crazy internet day. I'm not sure, but I want to jump in because we
Okay.
only have until 12:15. It's very
Okay.
snackable content, if you will, so people
Okay.
can take little short bites of it. But something that I loved just about your personality when we first met is just this quiet strength, but exuded through like kindness and empathy. And I guess the overall vibe was just soft skills but strong leadership, if you will.
Okay.
So tell me a
Thank you.
little bit about your background and kind of what got you to the point you're at in your career.
Sure. So I would say so I kind of did things a little wonky after college. I actually went into the military after college, and this happened to coincide with 9/11. So my early 20s were spent, leading teams in combat, and that really, I think, just kind of gives people only life experiences around, how you should conduct yourself and what is really like extreme versus not that big of a deal. And so I feel very fortunate that I got those lessons learned pretty young, and I've tried to carry those forward. So professionally, after the service, I didn't have a lot of strategic thought. I just kind of was following my friends who in the Seattle area were all going into tech. I was like, okay, that seems smart, and I did really well, and just have kind of done a lot of startups, a lot of mature companies throughout, mostly in leadership levels and mostly within the disciplines of customer success, machine learning ops, and revenue ops. So I've been doing that for quite some time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know that when we worked together, it was the team that I was building was growing so quickly. I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything or like building a team that cared. And
Yep.
how do you how do you go about building that and how do you let your team know that you really do care about them?
Yeah, I think for me, there's a couple of tried and true principles. One, like no jerks policy. It's it sounds simple, right? But you kind of do need to develop your own spidey sense for like, okay, it's not like necessarily that they have to get along. And I think it's okay to have people bring their ego and ambitions into the room. I actually think that's a good thing. But are they the type of person who can understand that, okay, this is our true north right now, and I need to
Hmm.
channel it here. So I think that's a little bit of the trick. And then just from like a how I've tried to articulate my personal feelings towards people is just shoot straight with them.
Yeah.
You know, be authentic. I think you've got to be clear as far as what the role is, what the expectations are, and do your best to help them manage through when inevitably I think everybody gets to a point of just frustration with work. Whether that's, okay, I feel like I've topped out here
Hmm.
and what do I do next? Or like I'm bored,
Yeah.
or man, this is kind of a grind. Like everybody I think hits those. So just try and put myself in a place where I know I can't necessarily fix that for them,
Hmm.
but maybe I can open up their eyes to different ways of thinking and maybe provide them some tools or maybe a door that they can go explore.
Hmm.
Because I think a lot of it comes down to people's own individual attitudes, for lack of a better term. You know, like I can only do so much to jazz you.
Yeah.
The job sometimes is the job. And here's how we can make this as great an experience as we can for everyone, but we still have a job to do. And the last thing is I just once those things are set, just try and get out of people's way a little
Yeah.
bit and
That's a huge
not
skill.
helicopter, if you will.
Yeah, I think a lot
So
of what I heard you say is clear expectations.
yeah.
Um, Nobody likes surprises. Well, I mean, diamonds. I would like diamonds as a surprise. But um, surprises lead, especially from a leadership standpoint, lead to gotchas. And it's such kind of a gross feeling if you get caught in a gotcha. Like, oh, but you didn't tell me to do that. Oh, but you should have known. You don't know what you don't know.
And
So,
I think that goes, yeah, and I think when I hear that, I also think about like you're really trying to develop trust.
hmm.
And for me, it's not necessarily the I got your back type mentality. It's more of just, okay, this is who we are as an organization. This is how we typically operate. This is who I am as a leader and how I operate. Let me in a little bit to how who you are as a person and how you operate so we can all try and meet on the same field
Yeah.
so we can avoid the gotchas and again just facilitate the trust because I think that's what helps when times get tough. It allows
Hmm.
people to take a step back and go, okay, no, like I know Mary, I trust Mary. You know, I may not like what's happening, but I know that Mary
Yeah.
has my best interest at heart. And
Yeah.
so I think that's the trick you're trying to pull.
No, I agree. And I think having those real conversations, like, how was John's soccer game this Saturday? Like,
Yeah.
showing a true interest in who they are as a person because their life comes first. You know, their job slash career comes second. I mean, it has to.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. I completely agree, but I think it's also interesting because I think you also have to meet people and understand a little bit on where they are with their life's journey. Because I learned this the hard way sometimes. Recently was just that for a couple of junior staff, like the job was the most important thing at this point in their journey, and it was very front and center for them.
Hmm.
And you know, they weren't as interested in like feedback around just work-life balance and stuff like that, that it just wasn't where their headspace were at, so I had to adapt to meet them to where they were at. So I think that's you it's tough, right? Because you can't be everyone to everything, but I think if everybody's just honest and
Yeah.
talks openly, and then if the leader's always listening,
Hmm.
I think you can do well.
Yeah, and I think something that you said earlier is that like we may not all get along or have like personalities that gel, but you have to work together. And like
Yeah.
I had a
Well,
conversation with a colleague one time that said, you know, I was like, let's just agree we're not going to go have dinner together, but we got to get through this project. And
but I
it
think
was so funny because they were like, you're right. You're not someone I want to go to dinner with. but professionally, we had the skills that we could accomplish this project and quite frankly, kick it out of the park.
But I think, Mary, that's one of your superpowers is you are so good at what you do and you're such a delightful human being, but you also you're not afraid to have a difficult conversation. And it doesn't even need to be difficult. But I think what you just displayed there is it's just a little bit of courage, right? It's like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm gonna say what I think needs to be said in this moment so we can move forward. And I think a lot of people, I'm certainly been guilty of this, just try and go along just to try and not,
Yeah,
I think people can mistake sometimes that a courageous conversation that could be challenging, it's not mean. It's not a mean thing.
right, right. It's gracious, actually,
It is.
because I think, what did Betty Jean, she's amazing. She told me that clarity is kindness.
Yeah.
And that if you can just see it clearly, then at least you know where you stand, what your role is, what you should be doing, where should you be with this project and, tomorrow in 5 days. I think all of that is key. And I think it comes down to communication.
Well, I totally agree, and I think it comes down to as you talk like in leadership, it's really about deliverables as much as it is strategy and the people. And sometimes we have to put on the leadership hat and say we got to get it done.
Hmm.
We're the ones at the end of the day who are accountable for making sure it gets done. And if we need to get people fired up so we can get it done, sometimes we might even need to roll up our sleeves and contribute to get it done.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do.
Well, and I think something that you helped me with, I know we're at official time, but if you have about, 4 or
Yes,
5 minutes
please.
more.
Yeah, I'm sorry for being a few minutes late. Like I said,
Oh, that's
nothing but
okay.
browser issues.
Technology. If everything worked well, we wouldn't have MSPs, right?
Yes, exactly.
But I think one thing that you taught me when I first reached out to you, like, am I measuring what's important to be measured? And I think I had like 10 to 12 metrics. And you were
Yep.
like, you need three. and, and it was like whittling it down to like, what's extra? Like, let's simplify this so that we've got three leading indicators if we're going to accomplish our goal or not. And I think that that was a huge thing for me because I was like, gosh, it's so simple. And I couldn't see the tree through the forest or the forest through the trees, whichever way that goes.
Well, I think it just shows I think that's another hard thing as a leader, right? If you're actually good, you command and understand like all the pieces, and you did. You completely understood the entire field, but in that comes the challenge, right? You're like trying to solve everything, and you
Hmm.
can't. So you've got to find a way to just bring it in because if it's not digestible for you, it's not going to be digestible for your team.
Right. Well, and I think that leaders, what you said too, is you got to get out of their way. Like, you have
Yeah.
hired people who are capable and who have a skill set that you don't need to micromanage, nor do I want to micromanage. But
Yep.
realizing that their KPIs and the next layer of KPIs, with 3 to 5 KPIs, they all lead to those like three metrics. And
Yep.
so, like, understanding that and being able to have confidence in your team and pushing those responsibilities down because people want ownership. They want to know if they're doing a good job or a bad job and
Yep.
like what shifts need to take place. And as a leader, those conversations are key.
Couldn't agree more. And I think that's where a lot of people bump into challenges because if you can't even decide what your three things are,
Hmm.
then people are going to flail.
Such a good point. Adam, tell us a little bit about what you do, how people can connect with you. Take this
Yeah.
opportunity to kind of plug Adam.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very sweet of you. So I lead a fractional consulting group called Customer Success by Design, where I can jump in and provide fractional customer success, RevOps, or MLOps leadership. I also, as a side hustle, teach scuba diving. So if anybody wants to go scuba diving out there, we can go. It's pretty cool. And yeah, I love what I do. And like everybody else, I've mastered the art of artificial intelligence as much as people say and truly believe that they can. So if anybody needs help building agents, QAing agents, actually determining if they even need to go down that path, which I think is the real question we all need to ask,
Mhm.
happy to help.
That's awesome. Yeah, I read a post this morning. I believe it was on LinkedIn. I'm not sure the publication, but it was like if you are getting AI and using AI to solve a problem, but you don't even know what the problem is, you're not
Yep.
using AI correctly.
Yep. It's you're just creating more chaos.
Exactly. Well, Adam, thank you so much. I can't wait to catch up with you soon, find out about what's going on with the family and all of that. But thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, you bet, Mary. Thanks for the opportunity. Always lovely to see you. Take care.
You too.
Bye bye.